Welcome to Psych with Sigmund, the show where we dive into the fascinating world of psychology and explore the intricacies of the human mind. I'm your host, Sigmund, and today we're going to talk about a phenomenon that affects us all, often without us even realizing it: anchoring bias. So, what is anchoring bias? Simply put, it's the tendency for our judgments and decisions to be influenced by an initial piece of information, even if that information is irrelevant or unreliable. This can happen in many areas of life, from shopping and negotiating to medical diagnoses and financial investments. For instance, imagine you're at a store and you see a shirt with a price tag of $100. Next to it, there's another shirt with a price tag of $50. The first shirt might seem overpriced, but if the prices were reversed and the first shirt was priced at $50 and the second at $100, your perception of their values would likely change. The concept of anchoring bias emerged in the 1970s, thanks to the pioneering work of psychologists Amos Tversky and Daniel Kahneman. They demonstrated how people rely on mental shortcuts or heuristics when making decisions under uncertainty. Anchoring is one such heuristic, where we use an initial value as a reference point, even if it's arbitrary or irrelevant. Over time, our understanding of anchoring bias has evolved to include its role in various cognitive biases and decision-making processes. From a theoretical standpoint, anchoring bias can be explained by several psychological frameworks. The prospect theory, developed by Kahneman and Tversky, suggests that people tend to be loss-averse, meaning they fear losses more than they value gains. This can lead to anchoring effects, where the initial value influences our perception of potential losses or gains. Another framework is the idea of mental accounting, which proposes that we treat different types of money, e.g. cash, credit card, or savings, differently, leading to varying perceptions of value. Research on anchoring bias has yielded some fascinating findings. In one classic study, participants were asked to estimate the number of African countries in the United Nations. Before giving their answer, they were shown a random number, either high or low, on a wheel of fortune. The results showed that the initial number significantly influenced their estimates, even though it was completely unrelated to the question. This demonstrates how anchoring bias can affect our judgments, even when we're aware of the irrelevant information. More recent research has explored the neural basis of anchoring bias. Studies using functional magnetic resonance imaging, fMRI, have found that anchoring effects are associated with activity in brain regions involved in attention, emotion regulation, and decision-making. This suggests that anchoring bias is not just a cognitive phenomenon, but also has an emotional component. In real-world applications, understanding anchoring bias can help people make more informed decisions. For instance, when shopping, try to focus on the intrinsic value of what you're considering rather than comparing it to an initial anchor price. Additionally, recognizing anchoring bias can improve your critical thinking skills and help you avoid falling prey to manipulative marketing tactics. In therapeutic contexts, understanding anchoring bias can also be beneficial. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, often involves identifying and challenging distorted thought patterns, including those influenced by cognitive biases like anchoring bias. By becoming more aware of how our thoughts and perceptions are shaped by initial information, we can work to reframe our beliefs and behaviors in a more balanced and realistic way. To illustrate this, consider the case of a person struggling with anxiety about their financial situation. They might anchor on a specific number, such as their current debt or savings, and use that as a reference point for all their financial decisions. By recognizing the anchoring bias, they can begin to challenge those thoughts and develop a more nuanced understanding of their financial situation. In conclusion, anchoring bias is a fundamental concept in psychology that affects us all, often beneath our conscious awareness. By recognizing how this bias operates and taking steps to mitigate its influence, we can become more discerning thinkers and decision-makers. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, understanding cognitive biases like anchoring bias can be a powerful tool for personal growth and development. So, the next time you find yourself making a decision or judgment, take a step back and ask yourself, Am I relying on an anchor? Is there another perspective or piece of information that could change my view? By being more mindful of our cognitive biases, we can cultivate a more balanced and informed approach to life's challenges. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, may your ego find balance between pleasure and reality.